I'm back with an oldie, but a goldie. Obviously anybody who's been around for a bit will recognise what this is. This is a Objective2 headphone amplifier and ODAC Revision B, which is quite key, Revision B. So this is a combo unit. You can buy these as separate, so a separate amp and DAC, but obviously mine is a combined unit. And mine was from, in the UK, Epiphany Acoustics, EHP02DI. But since I bought this 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, this company went bust, so no longer exists. But it can still be bought from, I think, in Switzerland or Austria, I could be mistaken. A company called Head and Hi-Fi. In North America, you've got JDS Labs and Mayflower Electronics. As far as I'm aware, they all still make this. But yeah, this, it might say mine's a combined unit, and let's run it over what you get. So power on and off. 3.5 output for headphones. You can get 1/2 inch or 6.3mm, which is probably better because this is a desktop unit. This is not self-powered or whatever. And most headphones tend to be 6.3, or 1/2 inch socket. So yeah, and they tend to be a bit more resilient. But anyway, mine's at 3.5. Red LED when it's powered on. That's it. So, like on the Mayflower, like the Arc, when you turn it there, it turns it off. But that's the power button. High and low gain. 4 rubber feet. Now this is where they can differ. So mini USB, line in and out, which I've tried, which I'll get to in a bit, and the AC obviously powering. It depends who you buy them from. This section is quite customizable, and on some of them you might see here a 3.5 input from like a cell phone or whatever. Mine doesn't have that, so mine only has two inputs, 1 and 2. As you say, to line out. So if you got like powered speakers, powered monitors, it'd only feed line out, so a fixed volume. If it was pre-out as well, that would be really useful for monitors, because that way you can control the volume to your speakers from the front. But you can't do that. You say you can't do that. Yeah, I've tried them both, and they say they work fine. Mini USB, some people don't like it, but to be honest, when this is plugged in, how often are you taking the USB in and out? Like, never. So before I get to all of that, what come in the packaging for me was just a normal, like, mini USB, and the power plug is rated 2 if you ever need to get one of these. So I read on some of the Amazon listings, when people bought these, it didn't come with a plug, which makes no sense. But yeah, that's the kind of plug you need. And this is the end that you need if you need a plug socket. And yeah, let's get to the meat of this. So yeah, it goes from 16-bit 44 kilohertz up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz, which is more than enough. You don't need drivers at all. You just plug in it and it works. It just uses the Windows generic one. So, but make sure when you go into the settings, make sure you disable all enhancements for people who use Windows. Obviously, a lot of people already know that, but just give you a heads up. Works with Mac, iOS, but I think you need to use the camera connection kit, if I'm correct. So it works with Windows, XP and up, and it works on PlayStation 4, but obviously, because it's only an amp, you can't talk to people. If you want to talk to people using this on a PS4, you're gonna need a separate microphone solution, which is a bit more complicated. So yeah, super compatibility, no problems whatsoever. Output, this is kind of one of the weak things compared to these days, because these have been out for since what, 2015, I think. I think Revision B came out 2016, I think. Is output power at 32 ohms, like my Mayflower Electronics Arc, which I will review at another time. That's 1 watt, well, yeah, or 1000 milliwatts at 32 ohm, which is kind of a good standard. This is only 600 milliwatts at 32 ohm, so not as powerful. So you got like the JDS Labs Atom and the Monoprice Liquid Spark, I think, still quick ones. They are more powerful than this, but they're only just an amp. So yeah, they're not the most powerful, but I've tried this with every headphone I have, and it powers them all easy on low gain. Maybe the highest I've been is on low gain, maybe like 75%, and that's more than enough for, you know. Obviously, if you got something super hard to drive, you might need something more than this. Like there's a hi-fi man model, hi-fi man, that's like crazy hard to power. And like the Fostex like Mark 3s, they're super hard to power, but you might still be able to get away using, you know, one of these devices. Now this is where this is a bit different. If you buy these as separate units, like if you have just a DAC, the DAC is actually USB bus powered. So this coming from your computer will power that, and the AC power will only power the amp section, if you understand that. So when you connect this to your computer or laptop or whatever, that will power that. The power is just for the amp. So sound quality, I'll get into the sound. It sounds really clean, analytical, probably is another way to put it. This does not colour your audio whatsoever, like, at all. And that's the, being a solid state amplifier, that's its design, not to colour it. You can always buy something like a tube amp, or you can always EQ, you know, to your heart's content. But yeah, it's a clean, super clean sounding amplifier and DAC. So I've had this since, I'll have to check, either 2015 or 2016, and all the times I've used it, it works perfect. It's been incredibly reliable. Yeah, from what I've tried. And yeah, what else can I say? Not much to say really. Nearly 8 minutes already. The only negatives really, looking at this in 2020, the companies that still sell this is over $200. Obviously that $200 is going towards labour because these are handmade, but I don't think it's worth that anymore, because you got something like the Theo K5 Pro, which in the UK is like £150 on Prime. I think that's a better deal than this, because that's 1 watt at 32 ohm, and that has, for memory, optical in and USB in, which obviously, and you got 3-way gain switch on something like that. I think that's, if I was to pick this now, I would have picked that. This is worth it if you can find it, probably at a used, somebody selling it used, maybe £100 give or take. It's worth that because it's a combined unit. You're getting amp and DAC, so you're done. You don't need any more equipment for headphone use. But for $200, what they, or more, what they sell at, I don't think it's worth that. I recommend it if you get it for, like I say, £100 ish. It's worth that. But it also depends on how good your source is, say if you on your computer. Because like computer audio, motherboard audio is a lot better than it used to be. So it depends if you actually need something like this. But yeah, what else can I say? I think that's it really. Oh yeah, one last thing before I forget. Output impedance is only 0.54, which is super low. So yeah, you can use this for IEMs because it's super low. So I'll let you know better. And I think that's it. Just a black box. Nearly 10 minutes already, but yeah. If anything you want to let, you know, if you want to know about this device, just let me know in the comments, and I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.